All right. Good evening and good night, and welcome to It's Your Perspective Talk Show. It is Tuesday, January 5th, 2016. Soup, this is our first show for the new year.
Yes, I.
Yeah, we're back. Just want to say that this is the It's Your Perspective Talk Show every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, weekly 8 p.m. until. We do have a telephone number tonight, 340-201-9005. You can also text us on that number as well. But most importantly, you have to go to our website, streaming live from the vi.com, in order to see the show tonight, because we do have a special guest in the studio. We do have email. Our email address is streaminglive@yahoo.com. Our guest knows that we are in a high-tech, low-tech studio, coming to you from an undisclosed location here in St. Croix, Virgin Islands. No radio, no TV, internet only, which means you have to get your Android, your iPhone, your tablet, your iPad, your Mac or your Windows PC, open up your browser, type in streaming live from the vi.com, and you'll be able to see the show tonight. All our recorded live shows are on YouTube and Ustream.tv. Just simply search for our channel, It's Your Perspective Talk Show. You see all the shows there. Soup and I had an opportunity to be at the Village this past season here. I guess the season is still in effect, but we got all the shows and all the artists. I don't want to say all the shows, but all the artists from Reggae Night, Desiree, Ross Batch, who else was on there?
Ghost,
Tia, Cruise Rock.
Desiree
was on there. So yeah, take a look at that.
Junior Reed,
last act. But I also want to say that we have two Facebook pages as well. I want to give a shout out to CHS Class of 1982. That's the year that Soup and I are representing. I want to give a shout out to Vanessa, Julie, Sharice King, and most importantly to all our past guests. Thanks for being on the show and believing in what we're trying to do here. We're on Twitter as well. Tweet with us at VI Perspective. And we're just moving straight forward and up. The show's mission is just to entertain, and empower, and inform everyone. And Soup, ready to bless that mic?
Yes, I.
Bless that mic, man.
Greetings, a blessed new year to one and all. In the name of His Divine Majesty, King Amal Wimpa Islasai the First. The greatest secret in life is that reality is nothing more than illusion. The physical world does not exist outside of our own belief system and the filter of our own mind. We are, in fact, subparticles of Jah experiencing creation itself. But as subparticles of Jah, we have swayed over these creations. Everything you have experienced in life, every event, occurrence, object, or person is nothing more than a figment of your own thoughts, beliefs, and words. The problem is, most of us are still asleep. The problem is, most of us are still asleep. When you understand this, your entire world shifts, and you come to realize the true meaning of life is thus, like a lucid dream, we have total control.
Yes, sir, Soup. Thanks for blessing us once again with the what we call the It's Your Perspective poem.
Yes, sir.
And it gives me great pleasure to introduce our guest tonight. Cindy Mail is back. She was here several months ago. Welcome back to the studio, Cindy. There she is. Wave to the crowd right now. You are streaming out. All your friends and family are seeing you right now.
Thank you.
So how you doing, Cindy?
I'm doing very well. Thank you.
Happy
nice to be here.
Okay. Happy holidays to you.
Nice to have you here.
Thank you, Sue.
And so you're doing good?
I am.
Okay.
I am.
So you're back today to talk about, I don't know, when I made the post earlier, I said the topic is energy management. Is that safe to say?
That is safe to say. I think that's what I try to promote in my workshops and with my product and with myself, with my own projection.
Okay. So you kind of say here on our little cheat sheet here, demanding times, too much pressure, anxiety, tension, hassle, worry, and busyment.
Busyment, I like that word. I think people are just keeping themselves busy.
Okay.
And in all kinds of ways, and not making the opportunity to touch spirit. They're just totally brushing over that. It's a part of us. It's a very important part of us. And it's necessary for each and every person to get in touch with that aspect of themselves. Otherwise, they're not complete.
Okay. Busy-ment. That's an interesting word there.
That's a Cindyism.
A Cindyism, okay.
Yes, it's a Cindyism.
That's in Cindy's dictionary.
Yeah, I just feel like there's just so much stress today, and people are so employed with their own small, little, local conscious being that it causes just so much stress and anxiety. People aren't nice.
Okay.
A lot of times they're just unnecessary things that happen because people are not taking the time to really get in touch with themselves so they can move through the world in conjunction with everything that's around them.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes. And I, you have anxiety, tension, and hassle and worry. So I guess...
people are constantly worrying about something.
Okay.
And there's so much drama. Have you noticed that?
Every day.
Drama.
Yeah, every day.
And people create this drama for themselves. And you wonder if they weren't creating that drama for themselves, what would replace it? Right?
Okay.
Could people survive not creating drama for themselves these days?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah. So I guess part of what I do is to try to help people find a substitute for this drama. I would say that's a good deal of what I do, because I don't think that drama manages energy very well.
Definitely not. It drains you.
It does. It does drain your energy.
Okay. And so you say here that you need to change your lifestyle one person at a time?
One person at a time. I don't know, did you ever read the book The Hundredth Monkey?
No.
By King Keyes. It's an old one. It's probably back in the 60s, a little skinny book that says that when one monkey washes his banana before he eats it,
Okay.
and then the next monkey mimics him, and they use monkeys clearly because monkeys mimic.
Yes.
And then the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and at some point there'll be some arbitrary number whereby then all monkeys would be born to wash their bananas before they eat them. So I kind of operate on that thesis, that at some point there'll be enough people who are observing, they're the observer and observing, and that at some point consciousness will get to a higher vibration, and then everybody will be on that point. So that's the thesis that I work under in trying to do what I do, to get each person to look at themselves a little more and be a little and desire to seek.
Okay.
Desire to be a seeker of that.
Okay.
I believe that, one, energy is neither created nor destroyed, that it is only transferred or transformed, and two, that we as human beings are holons, which means, I think I mentioned this on the last show, that we are at once autonomous and communal, and that thoughts are energy, and that all of that goes out into the universe and bifurcates and grows.
Okay.
So if negative energy is out there growing, which seems to me today that could be, then I think we need to come together and push the positive energy.
Okay. And you say here that we have to qualify ourselves?
Yes, no one can qualify you and say, okay, you have reached a level A in your spiritual development, right? No one can do that. You have to qualify yourself. You have to have the experience yourself. This is no longer the age of information. With ubiquitous computing, we can have information like that at our fingertips. It is the age of experience. We have to now experience the inner part of us, because the outer part of us we already know, right? We got that. So the experience, we have to go inside. We have to enfold and have an experience. And when we have those experiences, then it will automatically make us desire more, and we will become seekers. And at some point, we will be able to qualify ourselves. No one can do that for us.
Okay, good. So my work to promote elevated perception, consciousness follows premises.
Yeah, those were the 3 premises that I just mentioned.
Okay.
That thoughts are energy.
Okay.
And that energy can be transformed.
Okay, I got you. Okay.
So in other words, we as individuals need to really work at transforming ourselves, getting rid of the negative energy.
Okay. Is that something hard to do?
I think that it's not easy. You have to really be very, very conscious of what you're doing and what you're saying, and you have to desire to do that. And I think a lot of people today are very complacent. I think a lot of people just really don't care. But the bottom line today is that more and more and more people are beginning to have experiences, and those experiences are making them want more and want to feel more of what Spirit has to offer them, because they're touching that aspect of their being. And when you touch that, and when you begin to experience that, then you start to understand it. And then, of course, the thing right now is, we know for years, centuries, decades, we've had various prophets that have come into the world and blessed us with their wisdom. But I guess it was in the 60s, Lorenz came in with the butterfly theory, and in the 70s, Mandelbrot brought the formula in order to do the fractal geometry. And so now we know through science that this exists. So now that we have experienced it, we're aware of it, we're understanding it, the knowledge is there, the books are there. Some people are beginning to apply it and analyze it. So the key is now for us to synthesize that into our everyday life. And more people need to really be doing that.
Okay.
Many are. Many are.
Okay.
I mean, on St. Croix, I find a lot of people here are working in a more communal way to lift consciousness.
Okay. And so, series of workshops dealing with energy management. The age of experience, knowledge of, reading about. You just reviewed that?
I did just review that. Very good, Soup.
Yeah,
I do think that it's very clear now. It's not, this information is not something that is subjective anymore. This information and the understanding of Spirit and that aspect of our being on a scientific level offers any disbeliever. I know there's a book by Dr. Weisner. He's a neurologist here. The name of the book is The Golden Chain, I believe. And he begins his book by saying that he was an avid disbeliever. He's here on St. Croix and in St. Thomas. I think this is his 3rd book.
Okay.
And so he begins to really lay out all of the scientific things that he learned about in order, now he is an understander and an avid believer in Spirit and that part of ourselves. He talks about near-death experiences and people that have had those experiences, and talks a lot about that. So there's really no excuse anymore. That's what I'm saying. There's no excuse anymore for people to not be working on themselves. Okay.
So how does do you have to do yoga to achieve this, or this is just something that you can do just trying to make these adjustments in your own personal life without yoga?
Oh, definitely. There's other ways besides yoga. Yoga is the way that actually I believe that art was the way that I came into feeling Spirit and feeling connected to Spirit.
Okay.
But I did start doing yoga about the same time. And my yoga and my meditation. I guess it was the art and the yoga and the meditation together.
Okay.
That helped me to understand what Spirit could add to my life. Because that was not something that I really had as a child growing up. I didn't really have direction in that as a child growing up.
Okay.
My grandmother probably was the biggest influence for me growing up in terms of religion, but then spiritual aspects and spiritual nature and higher energetic, vibrational is much different from just going to church or just being in a religious situation. So yoga helped, the art helped. I believe that just devotion, and when people go to their different churches, when they get past the dogma and begin to just use devotion and use love, joy, and gratitude. Gratitude can raise your vibrational level faster than any emotion. I think they have actually proven that your brain waves are vibrated a higher frequency with joy and with gratitude.
Okay. Okay, good.
Jealousy is probably has the lowest vibrational energy.
Yeah, just the opposite end of that.
You can look on the internet. There's a whole list of the hierarchy of the different emotions and what kinds of vibrational frequencies they elicit.
Okay, you say joy and gratitude are on the high end and jealousy is on the low end. Okay.
Yeah, well, when you have an ecstatic thing happen to you, right? And you know also how sometimes an experience, you can transfer the experience that you're having into a different realm. Like I remember one time I was hiking out. I used to like to hike out on the west end where the locust trees are. I really like to eat stinking toes and put milk on them like cereal.
Yes.
I love that. So I would hike out in the bush out there to gather the locusts. And I was out there one day, and there were a bunch of those sensitive plants. You know what I'm talking about? That when you touch them, they close up.
They close up, yes.
Yeah. There was a whole field of sensitive plants out there. And so as I would pick up my foot and go to step it down, before I would actually step it down, the sensitive plants would close up. And then I would lift up the next foot and go to so there was this pathway that was like opening up in front of me as the sensitive plants would close up.
Right.
It was so awesome. And I remember thinking, that's how spirit is. You take one step at a time, and it just opens up.
It just opens up, yes.
So that was a transference of something that was happening to me at the moment, that I made that association.
So, Cindy, for somebody that's coming into this, want to get into this higher meditation or higher meditation.
Yeah.
How do they how would you introduce them into it? Or how would they start coming into this way of thinking and this way of being?
Well, that I think is where the yoga and art is the way that I, as an educator,
right,
as a 38-year-old educator, 38 years I was in education field. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. That's what I do through the art and yoga workshops. I have one going on the 9th, this coming Saturday, at 9 o'clock, where I'm using art and yoga to help people to understand those tools and to give them those tools through art and yoga. Because as an artist, when you draw, and from life, not from pictures, you are forming a relationship with that thing that you're drawing, right? Because everything that has energy, which is everything, projects.
Right.
And everything has some sort of a vibrational experience in it. And even if I'm drawing that stool right there, as I put my mind to it and focus on it completely, that stool will start forming a relationship with me.
Yes.
I will be getting some sort of vibrational energy from that. And then the associations from what has happened to me in my life, the stool will make those associations for me.
Okay.
So that's one example. Am I answering your question?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I think, and also the Kundalini yoga training that I took. I've taken all different kinds of yoga, but the Kundalini yoga is the yoga of self-awareness, and the Kundalini yoga is the yoga that is intentionally the exercises that you do are done in a hierarchy to raise your creative energy. And when I say creative energy, I'm not really talking about the energy that it takes to paint a picture or to write a poem. I'm talking about the energy that is within you, that when you get up in the morning you go, yes, right? Yes, I'm alive. And I think I talked about this last time.
Yes.
It's really, really important because you have so many people that are depressed, they're taking drugs. You know, they're the young kids these days, they're giving them drugs because they can't deal with them in class. And, you know, myself, I just believe these kids that are coming in with autism and Asperger's and all that, I really believe that it's just because they're coming in on a higher vibrational level and they're not adjusting to what they're finding here.
Right.
But as older people pass on and younger people come in and they're coming in on these higher vibrational levels, I think that that's how we will, as a human species, be able to make a difference in the level of spiritual level and energy and mental vibrational energy that we have. Meditation, there are many different kinds of meditations, some harder, some easier. The Tibetan sound meditation is a nice one to begin with. There's one that I probably will do on Saturday where you feel your pulse. And as you feel your pulse, this is one that Yogi Bhajan, it was one of the first ones he taught when he came to the United States in 1969. And when you feel your pulse, as the pulse beats, you say Sat Nam, Sat Nam, Sat Nam. And as you're doing this, you're also using your breath. So you're feeling and hearing the vibration of your breath. You're feeling and hearing the vibration of the mantra. Sat meaning truth. Nam meaning to identify with that truth. So you're feeling it, you're hearing it, you're breathing it, you're voicing it, right? Your tongue, as you say Sat Nam, is hitting the different, like an acupuncture point, the different pressure points on your mouth. And those pressure points then in turn work with the nerves to send stimulus, right, to your brain. So all of these things are going on, and that helps you to bring yourself into a centeredness, as opposed to just sitting there and closing your eyes and going, okay now. Right, so yes, there is training in mindfulness, and then you practice it. And as you practice it, different ones of the mantras and different types of these meditations will bring about different experiences.
Okay.
And they'll bring about different experiences according to the individual, but it also brings about different experiences according to the words that are being recited.
Right.
Because, you know, words manifest.
That's right.
Right? It's your thought, and the words seal those. They seal them. I think one of the first mantras that I ever really used was the Lord's Prayer. That was a big part of my upbringing. I was very excited when I learned the Lord's Prayer in Aramaic, the Abwoum. The words are beautiful. The Abwoum de Boishmaya. It's very beautiful. You can get that on YouTube.
Right.
And another one is the 23rd Psalm that I like. And then there's several that are in the Gurmukhi that I learned from the Kundalini Yoga that I use a lot.
Okay.
Ekonkar, Satnam, Kartaporta Nirvara Nirve. So I think that each person has to find their individual mantra, and each person has to find their individual meditation. To make a change in your life, it takes 40 days. So a good practice is to find a meditation and to stick with that meditation for 40 days. And then if you want to explore another one, do so. But make sure you do the first one for 40 days.
40 days, okay.
Yeah.
So Cindy, you mentioned that you're having a class this Saturday. Do you want to give any specifics, like where and time and that kind of thing?
That would be awesome. Thank
Sure.
you. It's at the Caribbean Museum Center in Frederiksted on Strand Street. It's at 9 o'clock. It's called Elevated Perception. And what I will do will take people through an artistic experience. You don't have to be an artist. And then we will move into some yoga, and you don't have to be a yogi. And then we'll move back into the art.
Okay.
And that'll be about 2 hours. It's $45 at the door. It's $35 if you call in and pre-register with the Caribbean Museum Center. And it's $20 for any teachers or past teachers. So teachers, please, come. Find some new things to do with the kids in school to promote their spiritual being. I just don't think that a lot of youth today are getting spiritual direction. Clearly they're not.
Yes.
Clearly they're not. And then they're growing up into teenagers in their 20s and their 30s, and it just seems like all the time we're seeing violence everywhere.
Yeah.
Because they're not connected. They're not connected. You got to connect to that golden chain.
Yeah, to see some difference. I understand completely.
Well, after the workshop at 11 o'clock, I'm asking for everybody to come to the Caribbean Museum Center, and I will do a guided meditation. I'll talk a little bit about meditation, introduce people into it, and then we'll do a guided meditation to project into the community a higher elevated thought, positive vibrations. Because we have to get rid of the negativity. Have to get rid of it.
Yeah, that's the only way.
It is the only way. The grassroots. It is the only way. One person at a time. Right. Like people talk about how they want to be stewards of the earth. They want to help people in Syria or the Congo. People want to make a difference. I know I was looking at a TED Talk at the beginning of this year, and there was a woman on there from the Congo, and she was saying that the governments are coming in and they're trying to do this and that to end the war, but she said all they're really doing is promoting the war, because the war is a community problem. It's not a problem from the outside, and until the community resolves it, the war will continue. So here we are, we're thinking, okay, let's go over there and fix that problem over there. So what does that mean? That means you're not sending your energy to fix your problem right here. Michael Jackson, the man in the mirror. That's the problem that needs to begin to be fixed. And then once you fix that problem, then you can move into your family with confidence, with spirit, with direction. And then you can move into your community with the same thing. And then you can be a steward of the world. But you must first be a steward of yourself.
Of yourself first.
And that's basically what Christ was saying too, that you can't take the beam out of somebody's eye when you have a mole, when you have one in your eye too. So you got to work on self first and foremost before you can help anybody else. And it reminds me too of when you're flying, when you're in the airplane flying, they tell you with the mask, you put on your mask first before you could help somebody else.
Exactly.
You understand me?
So what I just can't, it's just hard for me to fathom with all this information that we have and all this information that we've had for so long, why it is that people don't want to do that.
You think it might be too hard. It might be it's easier to do the not so good thing first before you get into what's really matters. And that's why I think a lot of people is that right now. They just want to get by. They really, as you said, they want to leave from here to go someplace else to fix a problem, but they don't want to deal with self first.
Self first, yeah.
So it's
it's out there.
Yes, definitely.
It's out there, folks, and seek. I think it's in the Gospel of Thomas that Christ said to Judas. He said, let those who seek continue to seek until they find.
Yes.
And once they find, they will be troubled. And after they are troubled, they will be astonished. And then I think it's like they will overcome the world or something like that.
They're going to meet their need.
I don't know exactly, but it's something like that.
Well,
Yeah, you
I
have
guess
to
there will
see-
be some fulfillment, after you seek and you understand, there'll be some fulfillment.
Absolutely.
At the end there.
Absolutely. Fulfillment for yourself. It'll be like those sensitive plants just unfolding and showing you a pathway. And this is what energy management is really all about. People say that they don't have time to meditate. They don't have time to do yoga. They don't have time to do this, and they don't have time to do that. You don't have time not to do it. You really, people, if you do it, it'll make your life so much easier. Like in the morning, on the days that I don't meditate, the day is random at best.
Anything could go. Anything could happen.
Anything can happen,
Yes.
right? But on the days when I get up in the morning and meditate, and I usually the most auspicious hours to meditate are between 3 and 6, and I usually can't make that 3, but I do try to get up sometime between 4 and 6 to do my meditation.
Right.
And a lot of times I'll have to take a nap, and it depends on how long. Like sometimes I just get up and I do a few little stretching exercises, and then to get your spine.
Right.
You got to get your spine open up, because that's what those spinal fluids come up the spine and help to open the mind, is getting that creative energy moving up the spine. You know how the medical staff, it has those snakes intertwined and go up?
Yep.
Well, that's actually the Kundalini Yoga, moving upward. That's where that image came from. So you want to open up the spine a little bit and then sit up and then begin your meditation. Other times, I do a whole yoga set. So my meditation can go anywhere from 31 minutes to a couple hours.
Right.
But when that happens and when I do it, then things just kind of download. Things you need to do today just kind of download in my mind. It's like, oh, right. And it used to be, before I actually practiced meditation on a regular basis, that if I couldn't sleep at night, and a lot of people have trouble sleeping at night, I would get up and I would sit and I would breathe and clear my mind, and then the solution to whatever was bothering me, which I didn't know what was bothering me, right? So the solution to my problem, the problem that I didn't know I had, would come. And then I'd go, oh, right. And then I go to bed and I could sleep.
Just that simple, right?
It is, but you have to get up.
Yes.
You have to get out of bed.
Yeah.
You can't just lay there in bed. You got to get up and you have to breathe and you have to put yourself into that mental higher space in order for that to happen.
Is this an everyday routine, Cindy, or this is something twice a week, 3 times a week? Or
For me,
no, for in general, if you want to achieve that next level.
I think that they say Yogi Bhajan said that any amount of time that you spend trying to bring the finite plane into the infinite will be rewarded 1,000 times. So it doesn't really matter, especially in the beginning, how long you meditate. I usually, with my students, my meditations begin with 3 minutes.
No, but I'm saying if it's going to be a daily thing, 5 days a week, 7 days a week, 3 days a week, or
I think what happens is that when people start doing it, even if they do it once a month, or I think that then they'll start doing it more and more.
often. Gotcha.
Because it's something that once you have the experience, because this is the age of experience, once you begin experiencing the benefits and the expansion of who you are, I mean, that's the whole essence of it. I mean, here we are in physical form, dull, physical, low frequency form, right? And when you begin to experience what it's like to have a lighter, faster frequency, well, heck, you want to go there.
Yes.
I mean, I remember one time I was meditating and I'm going, oh my gosh, school is almost out. My kids are going to be coming home to school. I have to quit. And I remember thinking I can see easily how yogis sit in caves and stay in the state for months at a time because it's exhilarating.
Yes.
So does that answer your question?
Yes.
I think people more and more then would do it more and more. Like, I miss it if I don't do my meditation every day.
Okay.
And if I can't do it in the morning, I'll try to do it in the later part of the afternoon, between 3 and 6 in the afternoon, usually like around 4 or 5, like sunrise, sunset.
Right.
But you can't beat yourself up on it.
Right.
You can't say, oh, no, I didn't do my meditation today, because if you start beating yourself up on it, it becomes a negative thing, then you won't do it, because you give yourself negative feedback. And you don't want to give yourself negative feedback. You always want it to be positive.
Positive.
So even if you go, okay, I'm on the airplane, let me do 5 minutes here, and it's in the middle of the day, it doesn't matter. Just sit down. You're at your steering wheel. You're at a stoplight. I tell my students this all the time. You're at a stoplight. Practice your Ujjayi breath at the stoplight. Practice that breath so that then it becomes more and more a part of you, and you're bringing in more oxygen, you're bringing in more prana. So these are little things that, as a beginner, you learn.
Okay.
Until
can you explain that? You call it the Jai breath?
It's Ujjayi is how I say it. There's probably a lot of people that say it other ways, right? But it's belly breathing. It's yoga, abdominal, core breathing. And as I teach this, I find that a lot of people actually do what's called reverse breathing. So when you breathe, you push your belly out and you fill it up with breath. And then you have full oxygen supply, as much as you can take in. And then you lift the diaphragm and you bring the breath up into the lungs. And what I usually do then is to focus on the third eye, bring that breath visually in my mind all the way up and out the top of my head as I'm holding my breath. And then as you exhale, you visually bring that breath back down in through all the chakras, back into the belly, and then suck the belly in and blow the rest of the breath out. So that way you get a very full breath. A lot of people, as they breathe in, they actually pull their belly in. So how much fresh air and oxygen and prana are you going to get if you do that? Right? Because it's got to go into the belly first. And the other thing is that you bring your tongue on the roof of the mouth so that there's a cavity here, so that as you breathe out, you feel the vibration and you hear the vibration of that breath. So that when you're meditating, that's something else that you can focus on, and your breath can bring you inside. Then your breath takes you in.
Wow, intense.
It is intense, and it's a lifelong learning.
Yes.
Never stops.
How long you been doing this?
In 1970, I went to Europe, and I lived for 2 months on a little island in the middle of the Aegean Sea. And I took a little yellow yoga book with me. And I started teaching myself yoga on this island. I also became a vegetarian then. They had great mavro, brown bread, and tomatoes and yogurt. What else is there? And olives. So yes, it was in 1970 that I became a vegetarian and I began doing yoga. And then it was also during that time that I really started doing batik. Batik was my first art form. And batik taught me what flow is, right? Because you put hot wax in the jaunting tool and then you draw with it. If you make a mistake, you have to incorporate the mistake into the artwork because you can't change it.
Right.
So it really taught me, and then you have this, and the other thing about, because you don't want to make a mistake, I found myself breathing to the movement of the tool.
Okay.
Right? So I didn't know it. I was probably doing Ujjayi breath back then and didn't even know it.
Right.
It was interesting. I had a plant store, I think it was about 1971. This was before I was doing batik. And this woman came into the store one day and she said, I really like the store. She said, I just like being in the store. I'd like to volunteer to work for you once a week, one day out of every week.
Right.
And I said, well, that's great. That would give me an opportunity to go around to the different plant stores and gather the plants, make my trips, whatever. And her name was Flo. How many people do you know by the name of Flo, right?
Very few.
Very few, right. So then, I'm telling you, this is the honest God's truth. It was maybe 3 months later, another woman walks into the store. And she said, I love this store. I would like to volunteer to work for you for one day a week. And guess what her name was? Flo. So I began to sense that maybe flow, then I started doing the batik and I said, flow, that's the key.
Yes.
You got to flow with life.
With life.
You can't be saying, and this is one thing, the workshop that I'm doing on Saturday is going to be spending some time with the second chakra, because the second chakra is the chakra of creativity, of social healing. It's the chakra of the negative mind. And the negative mind, the reason we have the negative mind is for protection. But if the negative mind is imbalanced, then everything about you is going to come out negative. And I'm feeling right now that there's a lot of negativity on the island of St. Croix. A lot of it. And when people then start coming from the third chakra, which is the chakra of the positive mind, the chakra of the I am, the chakra of the I can and I will, right? The chakra of self-initiative. When that happens, you sometimes get heads going like this. Because if that chakra is unbalanced, then people are going to be arrogant and they're going to be pushy. So it's not really, in my mind, the third chakra that can heal the negativity that I see here. It's the heart chakra, the Anahata chakra. That's the chakra of the neutral mind.
Okay.
That's the chakra of love. And so what you have to do in order to get that second chakra working properly and balanced is to get rid of the subconscious images, the subconscious information, so that you can approach life through a neutral mind.
Okay. Cindy Mail is our guest tonight. We're going to take a quick break. I'm actually getting a little thirsty here. So we'll be right back in about a couple minutes. This is the It's Your Perspective Talk Show every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Today is Tuesday, January 5th, 2016. It's about 8:53 p.m. Stand by. We'll be right back. All right. We are back. This is the It's Your Perspective Talk Show every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Today is January 5th, 2016. It's about 9 p.m. Our guest tonight is Cindy Mail. There she is. Wave to the crowd one more time, Cindy. They are seeing you live right now. So as we continue on here real quick, Cindy, one of the things that, well, even before we get to that, tell us about your event on Saturday. Give us the A to Z, 0 to 9 time, location, that kind of stuff.
It's at the Caribbean Museum Center on Strand Street. At 9 o'clock is the yoga and art workshop. And then at 11 o'clock is the free community guided meditation. Specifically to use what has been taught during the workshop to project good vibes, positive energy. Is that what you want?
Yeah. So that's the Caribbean Museum Center. That's in Fredericktown, St. Croix, United States Virgin Islands. 8 a.m. The elevated
9 a.m.
9 a.m. I'm sorry. And then at 11 a.m. you also have the guided meditation.
Right. And I really, if you don't come to the workshop, please try to get there for the meditation. We need as many people there as possible.
Okay. And then there is a fee.
The fee is for the workshop.
Okay.
It's $45 at the door. It's $35 if you call the Caribbean Museum Center and let them know that you're coming and pre-register. It's $20 for teachers.
Okay.
I love my teachers.
Okay.
And the meditation is free. There'll be some instruction, and then it'll be guided. So, but there's no charge for that. So if you're interested in trying to begin a practice of meditation, if you're interested in mindfulness and moving towards that direction, then definitely come.
Okay.
And then there's the other whole aspect that as a group, people who are using their elevated energy to project an intention, it's so much more powerful.
Yes.
So.
Okay, good. And you wanted to talk about the energy management, I guess, for business?
I do have an energy management workshop for businesses.
Okay.
It can be divided into different sections. One of the sections has to do with productivity. It has to do with teaching mindfulness and meditation to help people grow their productivity through focus,
Okay.
through thought, positive imaging, through intention. Another aspect of the workshop for business has to do with conscious communication. We often forget that our very presence is our communication. The fact that we're here is our communication. And then our projection and how we project is our relationship with whatever it is. And so there's a whole realm of information and investigation that goes on here in terms of a person taking the workshop and taking a good look at how they communicate and how they project and what kind of relationships they're forming.
Okay.
And also how they receive communication. Receive communication without negativity. So that's another aspect of that. Another aspect of the workshop for business is in the business setting, how you can elevate consciousness in the business setting. Maybe it might be that you have a space set aside for contemplation. And that's something that a lot of businesses are doing now. A lot of businesses actually have meditation spaces there, and they actually offer yoga and mindfulness classes for their employees because they've come to the realization that yes, it does increase productivity.
Right.
Yes, it does increase camaraderie among the individuals. And the other thing that I have suggested or suggest through this workshop that I give is that there be some sort of a creative community endeavor within that. Whether it means that people gather together to set up their meditation space, or maybe it means that people come together to create some sort of an ongoing I don't know how to say it. It would depend on each place. Like if I go into the workspace, I could see by who the people are and what the space needs, what the people could collectively do together.
Okay.
And then there's the whole thing of not only doing something collectively for the workspace to enhance consciousness development, but also what can that business or organization do in their community to raise their own consciousness by doing it. I think that was maybe one of the thoughts behind volunteerism. But then volunteerism started being something that you got points for.
Yeah.
I think that defeated the purpose a little bit.
Yeah. So tell us, tell our viewers about your website, if you have one, how to get a hold of you, your Facebook page, all that kind of demographic kind of stuff.
Thank you. I can be found on cindymail.com. That is my older site, my first site. It has my older work in it, my formative work. The website that I have now is Cindy Mail Nano Now, Nanonow. And that's just because the nano is that minuscule level of energy that's being investigated now, particularly through biology, biochemistry. Biocentrism is a name that has been coined to that investigation of that level. So Cindy Mail Nano now has my new work. It's where I'm putting forth what I'm doing currently. Okay. It needs to be revamped a little bit. I'm putting some energy and time into that right now. Okay. I'm trying to get some of my product on there. The latest thing that I've been doing is a yoga apparel line. Okay. And I have the leggings I'd like to tell all of you about them. You can see them there, and you can email me if you're interested in purchasing a pair of them. I also have the shirts that go with them. All of this is made of the vapor apparel, so it has that wicking factor to it. So it keeps you drier and
probably
cooler and yet warmer at the same time. Like if you wear it and it's in a cold environment, it'll keep you warmer. But I use the shirts and the leggings here in the Caribbean because it's made of the fabric. It's so soft and smooth, and it really does keep you cooler.
Right.
Especially if I go to the beach. I'll always wear a long sleeve, one of my long sleeve shirts. And then the other thing I have is I call it the yoga body warmer. And that is something that you put on after your workout to keep you warm while you do your meditation. So I have pictures of those on there. And I've created these products, also the Earth Rhythm Light Reflector Yantra Candle Curtain. That's a mouthful. When I went to make that website, everything about candle curtains that I put in had already been taken. So the candles and the images on them are my fine artwork, and they do reflect the energies of the earth, which is why I called them Earth Rhythm Candle Yantra Curtains. And a yantra is something that you focus on in meditation.
Okay.
I have a patent on these, and they're just freestanding concave formed plexiglass. When you look at it from one way, the candle, the fabric that's put on there with my images becomes brighter and luminescent with the candle behind it. But when you look at it the other way, the candle flickers, and so you see not only one flickering flame, but you also see the one reflected in the light, in the plexiglass. So you've got these two flickering candles going on, and it's a very nice thing to focus in on when you're beginning your meditation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have those. I have cards, and then my fine artwork. So all of those things I use to help support my business, because there are many times when I will go someplace and do a workshop or do a meditation and take my time and not charge for it.
Yes.
Or donate the money that's given to wherever I am at the time.
Right.
So these products are specifically to help me
And
sustain my business, which is to help people identify and develop their creative energy.
Okay. And you can get all these through your cindymailnanonow.com website?
You can find everything there.
Okay.
Actually, you can find them on cindymail.com because there's lots of links that will take you to other places. I also have a site, zimmyzen.com.
Okay.
Zimmy Zen is what I call my yoga line and my fashion line.
Zimmy Zen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I do my workshops with youth groups. I do them with interest groups like sororities or any other kind of smaller group that would just like to participate in this. And, just call me up and say, I have a group of 10, I have a group of 20. I've also been doing them for weddings, for a bride. If she has her bridesmaids and they're getting together and just kind of pre-wedding, because during a wedding these days there's a lot of pressure that goes on during a wedding. You got to have this, you got to have that, you got to have this. And so this is the time when the bride and the bridesmaids, the mother of the bride, the mother of the groom, they come in, they do a yoga class, they do a little bit of meditation, and we focus on gratitude when I am working with them. Just a gratitude for life, a gratitude for this love that they're about to engage in. And it seems to be something that people are really enjoying.
Okay, good. So it's about 9:10 p.m. So as we like to say, Cindy, anything that you'd like to mention, maybe we forgot to ask you?
Well, I think I did mention this once before, but I want to really put this out to you, St. Croix. You have some wonderful things going on. You have some great synergy and creativity going on. These dance groups, the art groups, the exhibits, there's just so many wonderful things going on. The music. And through these things, you can make a difference. Keep up the good work, and please support one another. Work together. No, no jealousy. Work towards one another, building each other up. And when you build each other up, you build yourself up.
You build yourself up, exactly. All right. Our guest tonight is Cindy Mail, Cindy Mail Art and Yoga Studio. She just, topic tonight was energy management and all things related, I guess, is the safest way to put that. I just want to say that thank you, Cindy, for coming out tonight. You're always exciting to have you here and talk about this kind of stuff. It's just important to raise the consciousness of everybody.
Thank you, David, and thank you, Soup. It's great to see both of you again.
You're welcome.
And I appreciate you having me on the air. I can't believe I talked for an hour.
It comes like a blink of an eye, you know?
It is a blink of an eye.
Yes.
Blink of an eye. So
1,000 thoughts in a blink of the eye.
Yes.
that's it. That's it.
Which ones are you going to focus on?
The thoughts.
Which ones are you going to download and manifest?
So Cindy has at the Caribbean Museum Center in Frederiksted, St. Croix this Saturday, January 9th at 9 a.m. Is the Elevated Perception Through the Artist Experience. And then at 11 a.m. is the guided meditation, I don't know, guided meditation, right?
Yes.
Okay.
For positive, energetic projection.
Okay.
Cindy, is there any age limit to this?
I'm sorry?
Is there any age limit to this?
Absolutely not.
Okay, cool.
Okay. All right. So once again, thank you, Cindy, for coming out. We do have a one person audience tonight. Thank you for that as well. And Soup, any final words, Soup?
Thank you again for Cindy. Jah guide and bless. Continue doing what you're doing. Rastafari lives. One perfect love.
Yeah, and we like to say one perfect love is our prayers and his blessings. When you put it all together, you get one perfect love, man. So on that note, it's about 9:13 p.m. I just want to say that this is the It's Your Perspective talk show every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Our website is streaming live from the vi.com. We do have a telephone number, 340-201-9005. We have 2 Facebook pages. We're moving straight forward and up. The show's mission is just to inform, entertain, and empower everyone. And no show tomorrow night, but I think we have a show on Wednesday. Thursday, I'm sorry. More details will be forthcoming. Check your Facebook timeline. On that note, we're out. We'll see you guys on Thursday. Peace.
Peace.
Thank you. I think that went well.